over the world lead, it is a clear sign that an agreement could be close on Iran's nuclear program. We just learned Secretary of State John Kerry, who we just saw at the Kennedy gravesite a few minutes ago, is now headed to Geneva to join the negotiations. Diplomats from key members of the UN Security Council have been meeting with Iranian leaders to hash out a plan that would shut down at least part of Iran's nuclear program. In return, world powers would ease up on some of the sanctions that have crippled the country's economy. Joining me now with more on what Kerry's trip means and how soon a possible deal could be reached are CNN Chief National Security Correspondent Jim Sciutto, who's in Geneva, along with Foreign Affairs reporter Elise Labott right here next to me in Washington, D.C. Jim, so John Kerry is now coming. What does that mean in terms of how close we are to a deal?
Well, you now have the two giants of these negotiations coming here. Kerry arriving tomorrow, the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, he touched down here just a couple of hours ago. And you really get the sense they wouldn't come unless they were close. And in fact, we are hearing they're coming to close this deal, not just to show up. And it fits with the optimism I've been hearing here from both sides, from the Iranian side, from Western officials all day. That said, U.S. officials telling us that there are still gaps to be narrowed, which has been their favorite phrase of these negotiations. So you get the sense that Kerry is coming to finalize closing those gaps, not just coming for the photo op.
Elise, can Kerry make a difference? He's not here, apparently, according to Jim. He's not there just to sign on the line that is dotted. There's actually still problems.
Well, he certainly seems to think he has, and that's often the case, you know, with John Kerry, that he likes that personal diplomacy. He thinks that he can go and he can close the deal. And what aides are saying is that, yes, he wouldn't be traveling if he didn't think that him sitting down, and we're told he wants to go line by line with the Iranian foreign minister and the other delegations on the agreement, that he thinks it could come to a close. And also the foreign minister is leading the delegation, the Iranian foreign minister. If there is a deal, he wants the other foreign ministers there with him to announce it.
Jim, what are the real gaps right now between the two sides? Quickly, if you could.
I've been told over the course of the day there are several, but the key one really is how explicitly they delineate Iran's right to enrich. The Iranians want it written down on paper. U.S. officials have been saying for a couple of weeks they don't recognize a right to enrich, but that maybe there's a way that there can be some diplomatic ambiguity here where the Iranians claim it and, in effect, the West and the U.S. don't disclaim it, don't say that it's not there. And I think that's been one of the difficulties here, is finding how the language of this interim agreement keeps both sides happy on that.
And speaking of happy, Israel not happy. They don't like this deal. What happens now with Israel and Congress and the White House?
Okay, well, that's one of the key reasons why they want to get a deal this weekend, because Congress has said, we'll give you a little bit of time and won't put any more sanctions against Iran. But if they come back from recess in early December, no deal, they're going to start to put on sanctions. And when it comes to Israel, there is an open rift right now between Israel and the U.S. Prime Minister Netanyahu says he cannot accept a deal. President Obama going ahead with the deal over his objections. So after this deal is done, Secretary Kerry planning to definitely say he wants to be traveling to Israel to be talking about it.
All right. Just in time for Hanukkah. Jim Sciutto in Geneva, Elise Labott.